all the commissioners? If so, I would accept a motion to approve or disapprove. Motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Carter. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on. Roll call.
Commissioner Birchfield. Commissioner Birchfield. Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Cherry. Commissioner Green. Vice Chair Faulkner.
Here.
Commissioner Isbell. Commissioner Jackson. Chairman Parton. Commissioner Russell. Commissioner Spangler. Commissioner Wagoner. Commissioner Wright.
Quorum? We do have a quorum. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? If so, I would accept a motion to approve or disapprove. Or are there any additions? Second, Carter. All in favor signify by aye.
Chairman, we did not have a decertification hearing yesterday. We were unable to get a quorum for the formal hearing. Before we move forward, I just want to let everybody know that all post commissioners have previously agreed to recuse themselves from any vote that would constitute a conflict of interest. The most obvious of these would include issues that involve their own departments or some that they know personally. Because they've already agreed to this, it should be noted that on routine matters, it will be assumed non-verbally that these commissioners have abstained from that vote. In bigger, more controversial issues that may have a more overt conflict of interest and may have an appearance of impropriety, those applicable commissioners will still verbally abstain from those votes.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5, appearing before the commission, waivers for pre-employment requirements.
Yes, the Fentress County Sheriff's Office requests a criminal record waiver for Sean Mitchell Linder, hired February 21st, 2023. In December of 2008, Mr. Linder was arrested in Putnam County, Tennessee for DUI. In January of 2010, Mr. Linder pled guilty to the charge and has since satisfied all court-ordered sentencing fines and fees.
I'm sorry.
No,
I was just going to say, is there anyone present from Fentress County Sheriff's Department?
I am the sheriff of Fentress County, and I come in to ask for a waiver before he can be a deputy. I know everybody's having problems, ain't got many deputies anyway, but just asking for a waiver. He's not been in any kind of trouble before or after he got the DUI in Putnam County.
Is that Mr. Linder with you? Would you please identify yourself to the commissioners? I'm sorry, speaking to the mic.
Oh, it's Sean Mitchell Linder.
Thank you. Would you like to tell the commission a little bit more about what occurred?
No, I blew like a .08 when I did, but I'm really sorry for that's the only trouble I've ever been in, like ever. Not even a speeding ticket.
Questions from the commissioners?
Yes. How old were you when this happened?
How old?
Yes.
20. It would have been. I was right at 30, I think. Something like that.
Employed at the time.
Yes, sir. Kuval Heating and Cooling.
What have you been doing since?
For 8.5 years, I worked at the Morgan County Correctional Complex, and then right now I'm working for the Morgan County Sheriff's Department in the jail.
How long you been in law enforcement?
Almost 10 years.
Any further questions from the commissioners?
Commissioner Wright. Mr. Linder, can you tell us a little bit of the circumstances around the arrest, it looks like it was a vehicle crash.
Yes, sir. The tie rod broke coming off the interstate.
Who was the crash worked by?
THP, I believe.
Was there any? Did you give consent? I guess because it wasn't 08.
Yes, sir.
Was that blood or breath?
I think they did blood. I think.
No, that's been a while ago. And it's interesting. It says, "While my vehicle lost control." I don't have any more questions.
Chair Cherry.
I'm thinking we just got done with a Christmas party, like a brunch. I'm thinking in the afternoon, 3, 4, 5, something in there.
Okay, so it was a during the day kind of thing. They were serving alcohol at the brunch, and you just drank a little too much. And
Yes, sir.
okay, what are your drinking practices now?
Very, very little.
Have a family?
Yes, sir. I have a wife.
Did you have a family when this happened, 2003?
No, sir. I did not. Not at the time. You're welcome. Thank you.
Is there a motion by the commission or any further questions? The motion to approve, is there a second? Commissioner Green, second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion's carried.
Right, next up on the agenda, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office requests a military discharge waiver for David Michael Dragon, hired January 1, 2023. In March of 2003, Mr. Dragon was discharged from the United States Navy with a general under honorable conditions discharge.
Is there anyone present from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, I'm here. Can you all hear us?
Yes, please identify yourself.
This is David Michael Dragon.
Tell the commission a little bit more about this.
Well, I mean, it was a physical exam that I had a disagreement with. It got the best of me when I was young, and I really regret it every day. It really taught me a life lesson, for sure.
Questions about the commission?
Are you in uniform, Mr. Dragon?
I can't hear you, sir. I'm sorry.
I said, are you in uniform?
Yes, sir.
Are you employed as an officer already?
Yes, sir. January 1st of this year.
And in patrol?
Yes, sir.
You know this is a pre-employment waiver. You're supposed to get the waiver before you go to work.
It was a pre-employment waiver for the academy requirement. I'm being told it's for the academy requirement, sir.
Let me ask you another question. On the DD 214, where it says reason for leaving, it's been redacted. What would be the official reason for leaving? Would it be insubordination?
They put it down as a personality disorder, sir. I'm not sure why you have that copy.
That's all I have.
Commissioner Wagner, how long were you in the service?
My entrance date was 24 October 2001, and I believe it was March. I can't remember the exit date, so about 2 years-ish.
2 years. Did you volunteer?
Yes, sir.
You went in 2001,
2001, right after 9/11, sir.
and you got your discharge in 2003.
2003, yes, sir.
Was that an agreement with you and your command staff?
I'm sorry, sir. Say again.
Was that an agreement with you and your command staff?
Pretty much, yes, sir. I guess it was a mutual agreement, even though it was under protest, but I guess I didn't necessarily have a choice.
Tell us what your day-to-day responsibilities are right now. Are you working in a marked vehicle out in the field?
Yes, ma'am.
Further questions?
Commissioner Isbell, just clarification. You're working out in the field on your own?
If I may, Chief Jeremy Nash, if I may, Chief Deputy at Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. He was hired at a part-time status and then transferred to a full-time status, tentatively given the availability of an academy date and paperwork, a waiver request, and approval through the commission. So, yes, he's phase 3 of the FTO program, so he isn't a marked unit, but he is with a field training officer, and then he started the academy.
I know I can't speak for the other commissioners, but I'm somewhat struggling with the fact that he's asking for a pre-employment waiver, but he's currently working full-time as a law enforcement officer. Am I understanding that correctly?
It was our understanding that the commission required the waiver, or I'm sorry, the academy required the waiver, but the commission did not. So at the request of the academy, we applied for the waiver. Because originally when his application was sent to the commission, waiver was not required, according to the investigator that it was sent to.
This is Commissioner Green. By the rules, he's not even qualified to wear a uniform until he gets a waiver from this issue. He's not even eligible to be in the academy or wear a uniform until this waiver takes place. And you've been working him how long?
February 1 was the beginning of the part-time status.
If I may, Executive Secretary William Kane, for the record, the rules of the Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, just to let our commissioners know, have the same pre-employment requirements for part-time personnel that they do for full-time personnel. So there's no different standard for part-time, reserve, auxiliary, and special deputies as there are for full-time officers. And so those employment requirements are the same. So in order to work in a part-time status, he would have required a waiver at that point as well.
We have a motion to disapprove. Do we have a second? Did you say second, Commissioner Carter? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, Jefferson County, the waiver has been disapproved. What next steps, Executive Secretary?
Well, without a waiver, he is not able to serve as a full-time or part.
So, Commissioner Wagner, so we have to go through this again. He has to apply again and ask for a waiver, and then we have to grant it before he can work. And he's already in week 3 of field training.
So in this particular case, from what I understand, I was just informed the reason why he is already in the academy, apparently, and appearing via Zoom, is that this should have been on last month's agenda, but it was not. But that would still not address the working beginning in January of this year, which would have still required a pre-employment waiver.
So he's in the academy now?
I believe so. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
Which academy is that?
Well, it's Walter State.
What I'm having a problem with is if we deny the waiver, then he's unemployed and he can't be in the academy. And he's already in, I think he said week 3 or something like that. I understand where the commissioners come from, and I feel the same way. They need to get the pre-employment waiver before they're hired. But in this particular case, this gentleman's going to lose his job, what it sounded like to me. Am I correct with that? Chief?
Yes, sir. He was hired, pending the approval of the executive assistant.
What I'm saying, though, is he can't even go back to part-time status, right, Director?
But he was not eligible to be a part-time police officer or deputy sheriff because he did not meet the pre-employment requirements. So he was serving, even prior to this, he was serving unlawfully with the agency as a part-time deputy.
I understand that. I guess what I'm trying to struggle with, even though we've already voted on it, I didn't vote verbally, but you know, the department, the academy, him put a lot of time in this, and I don't see how they get out of it without terminating him and starting over. And I don't know, is there any other remedy? I guess what I'm asking. I assume, Chief, is he eligible to work in corrections?
Yes, sir.
And then for us to give him a waiver, we got to wait another month.
Well, I mean, so the commission's voted on the waiver. He can appeal this to Chancery Court.
I understand that, but that takes time and money. And his only choice is going back to corrections and then get back on the agenda for next month, and we go through it again. So that's my dilemma.
If I may, sir, the paperwork was submitted, but it was slightly past the deadline for the cutoff to meet the meeting last month. I do understand, however, it was not prior to his original start date, and that is my fault on that.
Well,
Whatever you.
Yeah, we understand that, and when we're trying to get the word out that you're supposed to get these pre-employment waivers before you actually employ somebody, but we've got 4 months invested and money and time, and then we have to put it on another one. So I guess it is what it is.
And
This is Commissioner Cherry. I'd like to just weigh in for a moment about some of this. I think we've got two different separate issues here. One of the issues has to do with the discharge waiver, and the other one has to do with the conduct of the department, the agency, and putting him to work before it was appropriate to have him going to work. And I wonder if it would be appropriate to reconsider this in a different fashion, because we haven't really addressed the discharge waiver, and I don't think the military discharge, is the reason that we've denied the waiver. And I would suggest perhaps we should look at these two things individually. It's certainly not, I don't think it's the officer's fault if the department unknowingly or mistakenly or for whatever reason put him to work when they shouldn't have. But before we get there, I would suggest maybe we need to take another look at the pre-employment requirement regarding his military discharge first, consider that separately, and then deal with this other issue, because that really has to do more with the department than it has to do with the individual officer. And I think we're kind of making too much of a blend. If this were to go to Chancery Court, if I were the judge, I'd look at this and say, hey, wait a minute, that we aren't addressing the correct issue, and it's going to get kicked back to us, and time and money is going to be expended in that process. I would make a motion to reconsider this and take it in steps.
I would tell you that this is Commissioner Green, that part of my motion included the personality disorder that was redacted from the DD 214, being a mental issue, also creates some concerns. So it's not just the pre-employment that he's working when he shouldn't even be employed. but there's issues with the DD 214 and the fact that the copy that we have is redacted. We don't even see what that is. We're going by what he says is a disagreement with his supervisors. So it's a combination for my motion. It's not just one thing. It does include the discharge.
Well, let's have a discussion on that and break this into pieces so that we know exactly what we're talking about. That I would just suggest that we put together an appropriate record so we know what the reason is for us to deny this request for a waiver, and it's handled appropriately.
Sorry, the motion that Commissioner Cherry made, because I don't know that we have a second yet.
If we could get a quick opinion from legal.
A commissioner who voted with the prevailing vote needs to make that motion to reconsider. So I don't know. You did? Okay. So it's a valid motion.
Do you need Commissioner Cherry to repeat the motion? Okay, I'm not hearing that. Do I have a second?
A second.
All right, Commissioner Wagner seconded. Any discussion? Are we ready to vote?
No, if Commissioner Cherry again, if I may, let's just talk about this discharge waiver again. One of the requirements that he has for another pre-employment requirement is to get a psych eval to see exactly what's going on. I was concerned when I looked at his discharge paperwork, and there's a lot of stuff that's redacted there, and I thought, well, how is this disagreement a basis for discharge? And he's kind of explained that, and I don't know exactly what all the details are. I don't know if we can ever figure out exactly what all the details are, because since this has happened, people, especially in the military, they go all over different places, and it'd be hard to track people down to tell us exactly what the deal was. But sometimes, in my experience in the military, sometimes folks do workarounds to try to figure out, okay, what can I put in this box to get where I want to go. I feel bad for the service member in a case like this. If he had a disagreement and had a shouting match about his physical and whether he's qualified to work with a Marine Corps unit as a Navy corpsman or whatever that was about, and I'm just kind of guessing just from what I see, what was happening here. But the command could have court-martialed him for some kind of insubordination and failure to obey orders, conduct unbecoming, or something like that, or they could just say, okay, go home. Let's figure out a way to fill in the boxes to send you on your way. And it appears to me that that's what happened. Am I kind of on track there, Mr. Dragon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But I think the other way that we kind of get past whatever kind of personality disorder box they may have checked on the paperwork is by looking at his current psych eval. And we have folks that are serving in different positions who have had issues in the past, but they get fixed and they get their psych evals and go on their way. So if he's currently fit to serve according to our rules, honestly, I don't see a good reason for not granting this waiver under these circumstances. I'd make a motion that we grant the waiver.
On the
Sorry.
Commissioner Wagner, post investigator, we have the psych evaluation, right?
Yes.
But we
Mr.
actually
Peter
have this
Taylor.
conducted.
I think
Maston, was that approved by us, by the post?
So that's correct. Yeah.
so. Help me weed through this a little bit. I don't think we voted on the motion to reconsider.
I can do that.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, I kind of jumped the gun. I put the cart
yeah.
a little too
All
far.
right,
ahead of the
so
horse.
all in favor of the reconsideration, is that correct? Of the original motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, I think I had 3 yeses and 2 nos. Is that right? Do a roll call vote for this motion to reconsider.
All right, the motion is to reconsider. Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Cherry, Commissioner Green. Let's see, Commissioner Isbell, Commissioner Wagner, Commissioner Wright. All right, Vice Chair Faulkner. 4 noes, 3 ayes. It fails. Now we are back to where we were with the approval.
So do we need another motion for that? Motion to no? All right.
If I could just say to Chief, are you still on?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure if you're aware, TCA 388105, titled Minimum Standards Binding on Government Entities. Anybody who appoints somebody to a law enforcement position, and also anybody who signs a check for somebody who is not qualified to serve as a law enforcement officer, in other words, serving as a police officer, deputy sheriff without the waiver, actually commits a Class A misdemeanor. So when y'all bring somebody on as a part-time officer, make certain that they meet the minimum standards. You can hire somebody as a part-time officer and get a waiver for that person, but it's the same as a full-time officer.
Yes, sir.
Director, didn't we at one time say that pre-employment needed to appear before us and not be over video?
We did, and from what I understand in speaking with Ms. Cooper, was that we were trying to get this on last month's agenda. He was already at the academy. So I believe there was some grace extended for him to appear via Zoom. And I believe he's appearing from Zoom at the police academy. So there was some grace given.
Okay, are we ready to move on?
If you are.
Anything else? Okay. Anyone present from the UT Chattanooga Police Department?
UT Chattanooga Police Department requests a criminal record waiver for Ellen Marie Centers, hired March 20th, 2023. In March of 2006, Ms. Centers was charged with theft in McHenry County, Illinois. In May of 2006, Ms. Centers pled guilty to the charge and has since satisfied all court-ordered sentencing fines and fees.
Yes, please identify yourself. You are with the UT Chattanooga Police Department. Is that correct?
That is correct, ma'am. My name is Captain John Bowe with the University of Tennessee Chattanooga Police Department today. Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I'm here to request a criminal waiver for an officer that we've given a conditional officer to, contingent that she successfully complete all the steps in the process to be hired, this being one of them, the criminal waiver. Miss Centers, I'm going to have to step up here closer. I'm sorry. So Ms.
Actually,
Centers,
if you just stand by the podium, it will pick you up.
Oh, okay.
You just kind of pull it down, and there you go. It should pick up. There we go.
so Ms. Centers identified herself as one of the applicants in a pool of candidates for the police officer position. She was chosen, selected, and went through an extensive background investigation. And I have brought that with me as well in the event that one of the committee members wanted to review it. I'm requesting that she receive a waiver for the criminal event that occurred on May of 2006, a theft charge in McHenry County, Illinois. I've brought Ms. Centers with me as well in the event that you wanted to engage with her.
Okay, Ms. Centers, could you step to the podium, please, and identify yourself for the commission?
I'm Ellen Marie Centers.
Want to tell us something more about what occurred that you're waiving today?
Yes, about 17 years ago, I attempted to leave a store without paying for what I had on me. I was then arrested. It was in that interaction with the police officer that set me on a straight path after that, and is the reason why I want to be a police officer today. It was a very positive interaction and made me realize that the decisions we do make can affect not only me, but my family and the community as well.
Questions by the commissioners?
How old were you when this is Commissioner Green? How old were you when you committed this theft?
I was 22 years old.
Okay. No other interaction with law enforcement since then?
No.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions? Is there a motion? Okay, Commissioner Green made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Isbell, second. All in favor to, for the waiver in this case, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, the waiver's been granted. Thank you.
Waivers to attend another academy. Cleveland State Law Enforcement Training Academy requests a waiver to change academies for Kyle Anthony Bray. In July of 2022, Mr. Bray attended the Walter State Law Enforcement Training Academy, but did not complete training due to termination of employment. Cleveland State is requesting the waiver so Mr. Bray may attend their academy.
Someone from Cleveland State.
Someone from Cleveland State.
Got an echo.
Oh.
Mr. Bray online?
Mr. Bray online? Yes, ma'am, I am.
Hey, tell us why you're asking for
Tell us
this.
why you're.
Why am I hearing myself?
Yes, ma'am. On October 7th of 2022, I was terminated from Gallatin Police Department. I'm asking for this because I'm willing to sponsor myself to go to this police academy to obtain my certification.
Questions?
This is Commissioner Green. Why were you terminated?
I was terminated after I went back to the academy to make up week 2 at Walter State. Due to COVID reasons, I was unable to attend week 2. After coming back, I was terminated due to riding to the academy that week with a Montgomery County Sheriff's deputy, is what I was told exactly.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Is there a motion?
Commissioner Wright, I'll make the motion to approve.
A motion to approve the change of academies? Okay, is there a second? Second. Commissioner Cherry seconded. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, Mr. Bray, your waiver has been granted.
Thank you.
The Cleveland State Law Enforcement Training Academy requests a waiver to change academies for Fibbin Thomas George. In January 2023, Mr. George attended the Blount County Regional Law Enforcement Training Academy but did not complete the training due to termination of employment. Cleveland State is requesting the waiver so Mr. George may attend their academy.
Are you online, Mr. George?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, tell us why you're asking for this waiver.
I attended Blount County Training Academy on January 16th, and I completed 5 weeks of the academy. And due to failing firearms and defensive tactics qualifications, I had to go back to my PD, and I have to resign from my PD. So my PD asked me to send myself to the academy. So I'm sending myself to the academy, and I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to get back to the academy.
Any questions from the commissioners? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Wagner made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Isbell seconded. All in favor of granting the waiver signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, you have your waiver. Did you hear us? Hello. Mr. George, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we granted the waiver.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Estill Springs Police Department requests a waiver to change academies for Tyler Austin Crowder, hired January 9, 2023. In April of 2023, Mr. Crowder attended the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy, but did not complete the training due to being medically discharged. The agency is requesting the waiver so Mr. Crowder may attend Cleveland State Basic Law Enforcement Training Academy in May of 2023.
Are you online, Mr. Crowder?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Right. Is there anything you'd like to advise the commission about regarding this request for waiver?
Just that I attended Toledo on April 2nd. It was on a Sunday, and I completed probably 2 hours of it. I am a type 2 diabetic. When we were doing PT, I was fine doing PT. But once we went up the hill, I began to puke. And once I puked at the top of the hill, my sugars began to leave my body. So then I forced myself back down the hill, and when I did, I started to feel very weak, very nauseous. So one of the instructors came up to me, asked if I was okay. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I am not okay at this moment. I said, I do. So she said to come over here and sit in the chair. EMT come looked at me. They gave me a drink to drink. At that time, I began to puke that drink up. It didn't feel well with my body. And then they was like, well, at this time, we're going to have to take you to the hospital. I went to the hospital, and my sugar was very low at that point. I think at the hospital, it began to be at a 65. So once they gave me some orange juice and they let me rest after dehydration as well, let me rest. And then gave me some orange juices. She come back, she checked on me, and my sugars was back up to 121. So I resumed at the academy after the instructor come and picked us up. And then was told at that point that I was, the doctor had put me on light duty for the rest of that day. And then I could resume full duty the following day. But there was no such thing as light duty on Hell Night. So I was not able to continue, but they was able to put me on a medical discharge that day. So I come back to my PD, talk to my chief, and then I was like, I think I'm just going to go ahead and send myself to Cleveland and willing to pay for myself. So I'm just asking for that waiver.
Who's with you there, please?
I'm Chief Baker. I'm with Estill Springs Police Department. Once the Toledo called me and advised me that they were sending it home for a medical discharge, also the instructor told me that he can return back to Toledo within 12 weeks. I'm very short-staffed right now. I got 2 out on medical leave, and I just had one recently resign. I'm only a 7-man department, so I'm only working on 3 staff members right now. I needed my officer to try to get certified as soon as possible.
Any questions from the commissioners? Is there a motion? Did you have a question? No. Is there a motion? Commissioner Wright, motion to approve. Is there a second? Commissioner Green, second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, Mr. Crowder, your waiver has been granted.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next up, Knox County Sheriff's Office requests a waiver to change academies for Grant Alden Painter, hired April 2nd, 2023. In October of 2022, Mr. Painter attended the Knoxville Police Training Academy, but did not complete the training due to being medically discharged. The agency is requesting the waiver so Mr. Painter may attend the Knox County Sheriff's Office Regional Training Academy.
Is there a representative from the Knox County Sheriff's Office?
There is. Lieutenant Wright, Training Director, Knox County Sheriff's Office.
Right. Is Mr. Painter there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to advise the commission about this?
When I attended KPD's training academy, during one of our training sessions, I blacked out on the track and got woken up by medical. I finished out the day, but then when I went home that night, I wasn't able to get out of bed, and I had to call people to come and pull me out. I got rhabdomyolysis, and I was in the hospital for about 5 days. And then when I got discharged from the hospital, the physician told me I wasn't medically approved to continue in that academy. So then I left when I got discharged from the hospital, and the next year and a half to 2 years, I just worked a couple jobs at a hospital. And then 9/13 of 21, I started corrections for the Knox County Sheriff's Office. I wanted to use it as a stepping stone to work myself back up to patrol while I got my body back in shape. And I got approved to join the academy, and that's where I am now.
You're currently in the Knox County Academy? All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay. Are you currently enrolled in the Knox County Sheriff's Office Academy? What was that?
He is, yes, he is.
Is that why you're in uniform today?
This is my corrections uniform, but I wear it during the academy, yes.
Do you have any questions? Is there a motion? Say second, Commissioner. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right. Waiver granted.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, moving on to waivers of basic training, specialized substitution for in-service training, post-reviewed and administratively approved 8 for transition school. Waivers and all corresponding supporting documents. The reported documents appear to be in order and meet or exceed minimum standards set forth by the post requirements. And for those of you that have the agenda, those names are listed in the agenda under Section 7. Post did not have any solo waiver requests, which we see these dropping since we are doing one transition school per month now, which kudos to our team on that one. There is no action required on that. Chair, moving on to administrative waivers. Waivers of in-service. The Dyersburg Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for David Lee Terry, hired May 4th, 2015. On July 21, 2022, Mr. Terry was suspended due to an arrest for DUI and violation of implied consent. Mr. Terry completed 10 hours of in-service training during the 2022 calendar year. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
There's someone from the Dyersburg Police Department represented other than your chief today?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Lieutenant Kenny Jowers, Dyersburg Police Department.
All right. Is there anything else on this you want to share with the commissioners?
No, ma'am. Other than the fact that Mr. Terry has since resigned from the police department effective April 11th of this year.
Any other questions by the commissioners? Motion to approve by Commissioner Green. Is there a second? Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Commissioner Wagner, this seems like it's two different, one for the department, one for the officer. And he was arrested for DUI, but I don't see any. Have we dealt with that before in investigator?
So the waiver probably was submitted to us prior to this for the in-service. So it's basically at this point, it's just keeping the agency in compliance.
What happens to the?
At this point,
I guess what I'm wanting to say is we need to distinguish between that and keep the department in compliance, but the officer needs to come before the commission.
If I can speak to that, Commissioner, that would be two separate issues. This waiver is solely to keep the department in compliance with the post rules.
So Mr. Terry's not involved in this part.
Correct.
All right.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I do have a question. Because in our agenda here, it says it will also keep the officer in compliance. I would second Commissioner Green's motion if we amend it to be the department only, but not the officer.
In that regard,
Commissioner,
make the agency in compliance and leave the officer out of compliance.
That's what I was trying to get at when I was talking.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay. All right, we have a motion to keep the agency in compliance, and we have a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right.
Commissioner Isbell abstains.
Okay, thank you.
And just to remind the commission, we had this come up, I think it was last summer with the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, where the commission granted the waivers to the department but not to the officer. So effectively what that does is it I guess effectively decertifies that officer. So that's the effect of those motions. But I think that the issue with the officer, specifically with the DUI and resigning, I guess under those circumstances, that is a different issue that can be addressed as well by the commission. No, I'll go on to the next one if you're ready. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office requests in-service waivers for the following officers. Douglas Wayne Davis, hired January 1, 1987. On October 12, 2022, Mr. Davis retired in good standing. Mr. Davis completed 14 hours of in-service training during the 2022 calendar year. Thomas Earl Graves, Jr., hired October 1, 2003. On April 8, 2022, Mr. Graves retired in good standing. He did not complete in-service training during the 2022 calendar year. And Edward Norris Pendleton, hired March 1, 2006. On August 26, 2022, Mr. Pendleton retired in good standing. Mr. Pendleton completed 10 hours of in-service training during the 2022 calendar year.
Questions or motion? Commissioner Green, motion to approve. A second? All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? No. All right. The motion carries. Did you hear that, Fayetteville?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. The Franklin Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Jeffrey Herndon Carson, hired May 27, 2008. On March 26, 2022, Mr. Carson became deceased in the line of duty. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
I have a motion to approve and second. Commissioner Wagner, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? And I'm abstained. Thank you.
Yep, that goes on behalf of the entire commission and our team. Moving on to the Graysville Police Department, request waivers of in-service for the following officers. Scott Sirkin Freeman, hired October 5th, 2021. Mr. Freeman completed 40 hours of in-service training but did not complete firearms qualifications for the 2022 calendar year. Jonathan Ray Scott, hired January 3rd, 2017. Mr. Scott completed 40 hours of in-service training but did not complete the firearms mandate for the 2022 calendar year. The waivers will allow both the agency and the officers to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Someone online from Graysville?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Chief Scott.
Just wanted to acknowledge you. Any questions from the commission?
No, ma'am.
Is there a motion?
Chief, I have a question for him. Mr. Commissioner Wright, what was the reasoning for not getting the firearms completed for 2022?
It was an accident, and I'll take full responsibility for both me and Freeman. We were planning on doing in-service with the local sheriff's office, and that fell through. We ended up doing V Academy and was unable to get a firearms instructor. My goal this year is to attend in September the firearms instructor class. I did instructor development last year. And I'd like to attend that class this year to avoid any further problems.
Any further questions? Is there a motion? Chief, you did say you had someone on tap to handle your firearms for this year. Is that correct?
We have more instructors this year than we did last year in the county. Currently, my department does not have a firearms instructor. We've got to reach out to another firearms instructor to take us and do the training.
This is Commissioner Wright. Chief, I mean, we're all kind of a little hesitant because of how the importance of getting this completed is, which I think you know that's the reason why you're wanting to get the firearms instruction. I'm going to make a motion that we approve it and just hope we don't see Grayville here again for that reason.
No, sir.
Do we
It
have
will be correct.
Do we have a second for the motion? Commissioner Green seconded. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right. Chief Scott, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you hear the commission's approval?
I did.
Yes. Good luck to you, and I hope you can get that squared away.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Knoxville Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for John David Pickens, hired June 26, 2006. Mr. Pickens completed 40 hours of in-service training but was unable to complete firearms qualifications for the 2022 calendar year due to an order of protection. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Okay. Is there someone online from Knoxville PD?
I am here.
Please
Marcy
identify.
Ware.
I'm sorry. Identify yourself.
Sorry, Marcy Ware. I'm the secretary of the academy.
Okay. What else do we need to know about this to make a decision?
Not really sure. All of his charges are still pending, so it's kind of a wait and see with Pickens whether or not he will have to repeat the same thing this year. He will also attend in service, but whether or not he can complete firearms, we're not sure.
Questions from the commission? Is there a motion?
Commissioner Carter here. Did you say that you're waiting on for the charges to clear? What is he charged with? I know he's got order protection on him, but is there criminal charges pending we're not aware of?
He was originally, I think his charges were a domestic charge, and those haven't made it all the way through.
Or what was the disposition on that domestic charge?
There is no disposition yet. That's why everything's still kind of pending. He will not get his in-service pay, obviously. We've not asked for in-service pay, but we just need the department to stay in compliance.
Okay, this is primarily for the department's compliance.
Correct. Yeah, this is the department stays in compliance.
Commissioner Wright, if the waiver for both is granted because the process has not gone through obviously not gone through the courts yet, Knoxville, y'all would then ask for a decertification if the charges, would that be correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. With that, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Is there a second?
Can you clarify that motion if it's for both the department and the officer as written?
Yeah, the motion is both for the department and the officer and because Knoxville, depending upon the court, will then decertify the officer if he's criminally charged and found guilty.
Commissioner Wagner, I got one question. What, is the officer suspended? He's not working at all now?
The officer is working, he's just not working in a law enforcement capacity. More administrative.
Administrative, okay.
He's in our teleserve unit where they basically take calls over the phone.
Does everyone understand the motion? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. I'm sorry? Somebody over here. Yeah, Carter. Okay, Knoxville, did you hear the result?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Lawrence County Sheriff's Office requests a waiver of in-service for Jason Patrick Deal. So that person, the next one on the agenda, does not actually require a waiver. So that was cleared up. The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office requests a waiver of in-service for Jason Patrick Deal, hired January 31st, 2022. Mr. Deal did not complete the required training for the 2022 calendar year due to an agency oversight. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
All right, someone online from Lawrence County?
Yes, ma'am. Lieutenant O'Rourke.
Lieutenant O'Rourke, okay. So what happened that there was an agency oversight? Can you explain that, please?
I apologize. I can only make an assumption. Unfortunately, I am going to be the third training officer in the department in the last year. We had one retire and one have to take a sudden leave of absence. So I do not have all the facts. I can only assume based off of my initial review that they thought that because he attended the transition class last year, that he would not be required to complete the 40 hours of in-service training. I have since reviewed the post rules and found in this section that it does state that any officer transitioning into the state of Tennessee and attending a transition school must also is required to complete the in-service 40 hours of in-service and is not eligible for the in-service supplement pay.
Questions from the commission?
Mr. Wagner, I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Wright, I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Lieutenant, the waiver has been granted. I hope you all can get this squared away so it doesn't impact your department.
I greatly appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
All right, moving on, the Mount Juliet Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Nikki Marion Peralta Morales, hired July 5th, 2022. Ms. Morales completed 55 hours of in-service training but did not complete the public assembly mandate for the 2022 calendar year. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Is Mount Juliet Police Department represented?
Yes, ma'am, we're here.
Please identify yourself.
Corporal Dean with the training division for Mount Juliet.
And who's with you, please?
This is Officer Morales that's with me.
Tell us what we need to know about this. Why did he not complete that mandate?
This was going to be an oversight on the training division's part. Ms. Morales came to us from Greenbrier last year, and when she showed up, she said she completed the mandates in V Academy with Greenbrier. We did not have access to Greenbrier's V Academy system to verify that, and we didn't think to call them and ask prior to doing the salary supplement. Once we did the salary supplement in the year, we pulled our V Academy records and requested them from Greenbrier. We discovered the discrepancy.
Questions from the commission?
Commissioner Isbell, so has the officer received this training now?
Correct. Yes, she has already completed it for this year.
Any further questions?
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wagner to approve. Is there a second?
Commissioner Wright, second.
All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Commissioner Carter abstain.
Okay, Commissioner Carter abstained. All right, Mount Juliet, the motion was approved.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office requests a waiver of in-service for Dylan Kane Kilmer, hired May 2nd, 2022. Mr. Kilmer completed 40 hours of in-service training but did not complete the community immersion mandate for the 2022 calendar year. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Is the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office represented online?
Yes.
Please identify yourself for the commission.
Sheriff Michael Brock. I'm here with Deputy Kilmer and also Deputy Stone.
Okay, so why was he not able to complete the hours of community immersion?
Previous administration did not provide him the opportunity. And we came into office in September and had a little trouble getting access to the ACADIS portal administrator rights. And by the time that we had got those things squared away, we had failed to meet the timeline. Everyone left the department except for Deputy Kilmer. So we were without training officer GDI at the time. So we've since corrected that and got things in place for this year to make sure we get those things taken care of.
What type of activities does the Sheriff's Department do in order to complete this requirement?
I can't speak to what the Sheriff's Department done in the past. My experience, we have a food bank that operates every third Thursday in town and hands out and distributes food to over 200 families. And with my years as my former role as the chief of police for the city of Spencer, that's what we participated in, and that's my plan for the sheriff's office to participate in that.
Okay, Deputy Kilmer, I can't imagine that you weren't involved in some kind of community activities last year. Based on
what's going on?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was not signed on any official community service activities for the Sheriff's Department last year. Did do other volunteer hours on my own, but they weren't accredited.
It's still a requirement for this year, so you have plans to get all your deputies involved in some activities?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any questions by the commission? Is there a motion?
Wagner, I'll make a motion.
Is there a second? Second. All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right. It's approved, Van Buren.
All right, the final one on the agenda for this section, again, Van Buren County Sheriff's Office requests a waiver of in-service for Joshua Thomas Stone, hired October 31st, 2022. Mr. Stone did not complete in-service training during the 2022 calendar year due to a gap in employment. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Is Mr. Stone with you today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What else do we need to know about this request?
That Deputy Stone left the Chattanooga Police Department February of 2022 and came on board with us October 31st of 22. And again, it was the struggle in me getting the administrator rights and taking over the GDI responsibilities for the department and being the new sheriff and not having those things afforded to Deputy Stone. But we've since we've made progress. We have enrollments into some of the V Academy classes, and we have plans to fill the other obligations as well.
Are there any questions by the commissioners? Is there a motion? Commissioner Wright, motion to approve. Is there a second? All right, Commissioner Green, second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, Van Buren, I think you're good to go.
Thank you.
Moving on to waivers of the 6-month rule, Columbia Police Department requests a 6-month waiver for Amizal Leonardo Jimenez, hired October 3rd, 2022. Mr. Jimenez attended the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in January of 2023, but was unable to complete the training due to academic failure. Mr. Jimenez is scheduled to reattend the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in July of 2023.
Is someone here for Columbia Police Department? Are you online? Columbia Police?
I mean, everything's in order. He's set to return to the training academy for
Okay.
another go at it.
As Commissioner Wagner, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second? Second. All right. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All right. Moving on.
Grundy County Sheriff's Office requests a 6-month waiver for John Trevor Dykes, hired September 12, 2022. Mr. Dykes attended the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in January of 2023, but was unable to complete the training due to academic failure. Mr. Dykes is scheduled to reattend the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in July of 2023.
Anyone present for Grundy County? Oh, I see you there. Please identify yourself.
I'm Sheriff Gunner from Grundy County Sheriff's Department. Commissioners, Director, I apologize for us entering the meeting late. Was not notified of the change of the location, so please accept my apology on that. Mr. Trevor here was, like the Commissioner said, the Director said, had a failure to complete the academics. He had some personal problems going on with his 11-year-old daughter with having juvenile diabetes. She was in very rough shape at that time. His mind was in other places. Mr. Dykes is with me. He comes from a family of law enforcement. His brother's a certified officer with Jasper. His nephew works for me, and his cousin is with Kimball. So he would like to follow in the family footsteps. Right now, he's doing administrative duties for us and also helping with school crossings and stuff like that. I request that the commissioners and the director, if y'all would see fit, to please give this young man another chance.
Any questions from the commission?
Just to let the commission know, he's set to reattend the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy, so he's all you're asking for is a waiver of the 6-month rule, which would just simply keep him in compliance and allow him to attend the academy.
That's correct, sir, and I apologize for not identifying that in the beginning. He will attend in July.
Second? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Waiver granted. Thank you. Good luck to you. Hope your child's better.
Commissioners, Director, thank y'all for y'all's time. Have a good day.
Going back to Grundy County.
All right, the Martin Police Department requests a 6-month waiver for Damian Alexander Martin, hired March 13th, 2023. Mr. Martin is unable to attend the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in July of 2023 due to service with the Tennessee National Guard. Mr. Martin is scheduled to attend the academy in October of 2023.
Is the Martin Police Department online? Not seeing Martin. A motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Wagner.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, motion carries.
Metropolitan Nashville Police Department requests a 6-month waiver for Jonathan Williams Skull, hired November 16, 2022. Mr. Skull attended the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department Academy in January of 2023, but was unable to complete training due to an injury. Mr. Skull is scheduled to reattend the academy and graduate in October of 2023.
Anyone present from Metro Nashville PD? Is there a motion? Commissioner Wright, motion to approve. Is there a second? Is that, Commissioner Carter, second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Next up, Millersville Police Department requests a 6-month waiver for Melvin Sidney Brown, hired December 15, 2022. Mr. Brown is unable to attend transition at the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in May of 2023 due to a medical procedure. Once medically cleared, Mr. Brown will be scheduled to attend transition in September of 2023, and Chief Brown is here.
There you are. Okay. Questions from the commission? Is there a motion? Okay. Is there a motion? There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? All right. All in favor say yes. Any noes? All right.
Unicoi County Sheriff's Office requests a 6-month waiver for Jonathan Stephen Williams, hired August 15, 2022. Mr. Williams has been unable to attend Basic Police Academy due to the agency being unable to enroll him into training. However, Mr. Williams is scheduled to attend the Walter State Law Enforcement Training Academy in April of 2023.
Anyone from Unicoi County? Not seeing anyone. Is there a motion? Anyone from
Commissioner Wagner, I'll make a motion we approve.
Okay, I'm not seeing anyone from Unicoi County. Commissioner Wagner made a motion to approve. Is there a second? Commissioner Wright, second. All in favor, by say yes. Any noes? Any contraries? All right.
All right, moving on. Waivers of the 8-month rule. The following officers are requesting a waiver of the 8-month rule. They will receive the 2022 salary supplement payment if they completed the 2022 in-service requirements. We'll begin with the Bartlett Police Department. Request an 8-month waiver for James Kenneth Elliott, hired January 1, 2002, March 28, 2022. Mr. Elliott was on medical leave from June 24th to January 17, 2023. Mr. Elliott completed the required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year.
Anyone from the Bartlett Police Department? Bartlett Police Department? Not hearing anyone. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second? Commissioner Wright, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion moves.
All right, Franklin Police Department requests an 8-month waiver for Sergio Manuel Guerra, hired February 18, 1997. On February 24th, 2022, Mr. Guerra retired in good standing. Prior to retiring, he completed the required 2022 in-service training.
Motion to approve, second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. And I abstain. Motion carries.
Germantown Police Department requests an 8-month waiver for Alan Lee Keller, hired March 6, 1995. On March 31st, 2022, Mr. Keller retired in good standing. Prior to retiring, Mr. Keller completed the required 2022 in-service training.
We have a motion to approve and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All right, thank you. Motion carries.
Greene County Sheriff's Office requests 8-month waivers for the following officers who completed the required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year. Terry Lynn Rader, hired August 24th, 1993. On June 30th, 2022, Mr. Rader retired in good standing. And Jeffrey Allen Morgan, hired November 8th, 1991. On June 30th, 2022, Mr. Morgan retired in good standing.
Is Greene County online? I just wanted to acknowledge them if they were. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Carter, second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Henry County Sheriff's Office requests an 8-month waiver for Adam Thomas Jenkins, hired July 1, 2004. On April 8, 2022, Mr. Jenkins retired in good standing. Prior to retiring, Mr. Jenkins completed the required 2022 in-service training.
Anyone online from Henry County? Not hearing anyone. Is there a motion? Motion to approve. Commissioner Wright. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Isbell. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Jefferson City Police Department requests an 8-month waiver for Daryl Keith Turley, hired May 1, 1980. On June 30th, 2022, Mr. Turley retired in good standing. Prior to retiring, Mr. Turley completed the required 2022 in-service training.
Jefferson City Police Department, are you there? Not hearing anyone. Do I have a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please.
Deputy Chief Eric Thomas.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Deputy Chief? Do you have a motion? Motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Was it Commissioner Carter? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All right, Deputy Chief, motion to approve. Moved on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Murray County Sheriff's Office requests an 8-month waiver for Ronald Lee Shelton Sr., hired October 10, 2006. On June 30, 2022, Mr. Shelton retired in good standing. Prior to retiring, Mr. Shelton completed the required 2022 in-service training.
Is Murray County Sheriff's Office online? Not hearing anyone. Is there a motion? Commissioner Green, motion to approve. Is there a second? Commissioner Wright, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Morristown Police Department requests an 8-month waiver for the following officers who completed the required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year. Daniel Corey Cliff, hired August 1st, 1993. On May 31st, 2022, he retired in good standing. Jackie Mack Everett, hired April 16th, 1992. On June 30th, 2022, Mr. Everett retired in good standing.
Anyone from the Morristown Police Department? All right, I'm not hearing anyone. Is there a motion?
Commissioner Wagner, I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, motion to approve. Is there a second? Commissioner Green, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Rutherford County Sheriff's Office requests 8-month waivers for the following officers who completed required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year. Christopher Jason Haynes, hired August 17, 1992. On July 15, 2022, Mr. Haynes retired in good standing. Angela Lynn Payne, hired August 22, 2022. In early 2022, Ms. Payne was placed on light duty due to a high-risk pregnancy.
Anyone from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office online? Okay, is there a motion? Commissioner Green, motion to approve. A second. Commissioner Wright, all in favor of the motion say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion.
Carter abstain.
I'm sorry?
Commissioner Carter.
Commissioner
abstain.
Carter abstain. Okay. Motion carries.
Warren County Sheriff's Office requests an 8-month waiver for Jason Scott Richardson, hired April 3rd, 2003. On June 3rd, 2022, Mr. Richardson retired in good standing. Prior to retiring, Mr. Richardson completed all the required 2022 in-service training.
Anyone online from Warren County Sheriff's Office? Okay, is there a motion? Second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Moving on to waivers for medical. The following departments requesting waiver for medical reasons for the 2022 calendar year, so the department will also remain in compliance. Officers did not complete in-service training and are not eligible for salary supplement. The Clarksville Police Department requests in-service waivers for the following officers. Catherine Michelle Baumgartner, hired March 1, 2020. May 4, 2022, Ms. Baumgartner was placed on medical leave. She completed 11 hours of in-service training during the 2022 calendar year. Shannon Leonard Creighton, hired December 1, 2017. On October 27, 2021, Mr. Creighton was placed on medical leave. He completed 32 hours of in-service training during the 2022 calendar year. Alan James Greenman, hired March 1, 2018. On February 25, 2022, Mr. Greenman was placed on medical leave. Mr. Greenman completed 36 hours of in-service training. Michaela Nicole Hawk, hired August 31st, 2020. On October 15, 2021, she was placed on medical leave. Ms. Hawk completed 25 hours of in-service during the 2022 calendar year. And Donovan Casey Stanton, hired June 16, 2008. In January 2022, Mr. Stanton was placed on medical leave. He completed 11 hours of in-service training during the 2022 calendar year. The waivers will allow both the agency and the officers to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Anyone from the Clarksville Police Department online?
I am him.
Yes, please.
Sergeant Joel Gibbons.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I cut you out. Will you say your name again?
Sergeant Joel Gibbons. I'm over the training division.
All right, Sergeant. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add to this?
No, ma'am.
All right. Is there any questions or motion? Commissioner Wright, motion to approve. Is there a second? Commissioner Isbell. There's a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, the waiver passes. Thank you, Sergeant.
Franklin Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Sean Matthew Finn, hired May 24, 2013. On January 1, 2022, he was placed on medical leave and was unable to complete the required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
So I could answer any questions. Thank you. I abstain. Let's have a vote on it. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Germantown Police Department requests waiver of in-service for Lauren Elizabeth Nelson, hired July 19, 2021. On August 9, 2022, Ms. Nelson was placed on medical leave and was unable to complete the required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year. Ms. Nelson completed 17 and a half hours of in-service training. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Germantown, are you online? I guess not. Okay. Commissioners have any discussion or motion? Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Carter. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries.
Hamilton County Sheriff's Office requests waiver of in-service for Jonathan David Sabetta, hired August 3rd, 2021. On June 27, 2022, Mr. Sabetta was placed on medical leave and was unable to complete the required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Okay, I think I saw Hamlin County. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please identify yourself for the commission.
Lieutenant Josh Ringley. I'm over the training here.
Lieutenant, is there anything else you wanted to add to this?
Officer Sabetta, he did complete the firearms training. I know it wasn't on there, but he did complete that.
Have any questions, commissioners? Is there a motion? Motion to approve by Commissioner Green and second by Commissioner Carter. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. All right, Lieutenant, the motion carries. Your waiver.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
The Jefferson City Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Jessica Kristen Bryant, hired November 26, 2018. Ms. Bryant completed 69 hours of in-service training but was unable to complete the firearms mandate for the 2022 calendar year due to medical reasons. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
I believe I see Jefferson City Police Department. Are you present?
Yes, ma'am. Deputy Chief Eric Thomas and the officer is with me as well.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to add so the commissioners can make a decision?
Corporal Bryant, she found out she was pregnant in April of last year, and we had not conducted firearms at that point for in-service, so she was obviously not allowed to go to the range. She went on medical leave in December and then returned this year in March. So she got all of her in-service except for the firearm.
Any questions by the commission? Is there a motion? Commissioner Wright, motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Carter. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. All right, the waiver and the motion carries. Thank you, Jefferson.
Thank you, Commissioner.
The Knoxville Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Madison Elizabeth Zybert, hired March 29, 2021. Ms. Zybert completed 36 hours of in-service training but was unable to complete firearms for the 2022 calendar year due to medical reasons. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance with post guidelines.
Okay, I see Knoxville is still there, Knoxville PD. Is there anything else you wanted to advise the commission of?
The waiver was done most because of her pregnancy. So she, at the beginning of in-service, found out she was pregnant and did everything except for the firearms part of in-service, the qualifications. She actually did in-service training for firearms, just did not qualify.
Make a motion, we approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Wagner. Is there a second? Commissioner Wright. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. All right, the motion carries. Thank you, Knoxville.
Moving on to waivers for military leave, Post has reviewed and administratively approved 17 military waivers, and all the corresponding supporting documents have been reviewed. They appear to be in order and meet or exceed the minimum standards set forth by the Post Commission. Applications for training officer. Post investigators reviewed and approved 2 applications for training officer. They appear to meet the criteria for approval. There are no officers that have 1 year to complete the instructor development course, and we do need a motion to approve or disapprove on that.
Motion to approve. Commissioner Wright, is there a second? Commissioner Green, second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Applications for certified instructor. Post investigators have reviewed and approved 28 applications for certified instructor, and those appear to be in order and meet the minimum standards. They've completed the minimum hours and attendance of required courses. There are none that need 1 year to complete instructor development, and there is a list of officers who are requesting in your agenda, who are requesting a waiver of the 1 year training officer requirement.
Motion to accept. Second. Second by Commissioner Isbell. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Curriculum and tests. Post investigators have reviewed and approved 156 in-service and specialized training classes this month. They appear to be in order and meet or exceed minimum standards set forth by Post requirements.
Motion to accept. Is there a second? Commissioner Carter, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Okay, there is no old business. Moving on to new business and items for discussion. We have an agreed order to surrender on or about February 28, 2023. Brandon Thomas Young informed the Post Commission that he would surrender his Post certification. Mr. Young was employed by the White County Sheriff's Office from July 11, 2014 until his termination for disciplinary reasons on June 30th, 2020. Legal, do you have anything to add about that agreed order? Okay.
Motion to approve. Disapprove.
Commissioner Wright, I make the motion to accept the surrender and approve it.
Second. Bill seconds. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries.
All right, the final item on the agenda, the Post investigative report, a follow-up investigation regarding the termination of Burrell Calvin Davis II, the former chief of the Laverne Police Department. If you would just step to the podium, please. Identify yourself by name and your position with the Post Commission, please.
Evan Craig, Post investigator. On February 6th of this year, Chief Davis was terminated by Laverne Police Department. He submitted 5 other officers to be decertified, and as of this date today, we have not received a decertification for Chief Davis's commission. So I went ahead and did some research and found the documents of why he was terminated, and also got the documents, the investigative report that was done on him. So that's in your iPads, and if you want to look at page 13, the third to last paragraph, it pretty much says he was untruthful, misled the investigation, and was also involved in the sexual pictures back and forth between officers. As we find, therefore, the failing to report or discipline officers engaged in inappropriate sexual activity. That paragraph pretty much self-explains with their termination.
Read that into the record.
Sure. Bifocals. We find, therefore, that failing to report or discipline officers engaged in inappropriate sexual activity, withholding information from city officials, conducting the initial investigation, and facilitating a hostile work environment in the sharing of nude images of subordinate employees, Chief Davis impeded the initial investigation contrary to city policy and permitted, if not encouraged, conduct potentially contrary to state and federal law. We further find that on the basis of the documentary evidence available to us, that he has impeded the city's January 6th investigation of his prior knowledge of the investigation by untruthfulness responses regarding his text message correspondence with Sergeant McGowan. And this report was an independent report done at the city's request. like I said, the city of Laverne has not submitted decertification paperwork on Chip Davis at this time.
And basically, what we are requesting the commission to do is to determine today if y'all want this to move forward into an informal, the informal committee for decertification of former Chief Davis.
Commissioner Wright, I'll make the motion. We move it to the informal.
Isbell second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Is there any other business?
And we have no other business. I want to get a quick update from Ms. Cooper. How many agencies do we have outstanding at this point on this date in April, mid-April, on salary supplement?
At this point, we have all agencies' salary supplements. We are working with a few just to help them through some problems, but we have cooperation from everyone. I think we have maybe less than 5 that we have to send down to be batched for physical.
That's pretty good.
Outstanding. That's outstanding work and speedy. I'm sure you'll get a lot of calls and emails. Where's the money?
Yes, ma'am. We sure do.
We were still signing badges this time last year, sending requests for payment to Finance Administration. So just again, I'm sure I sound like a broken record. I just want to brag on the team that works on a day-to-day basis to support the work of this commission and the job that they do. And Ms. Cooper, the work that you've done on digitizing this process is, I mean, it has revolutionized the way that we handle salary supplements. So great job.
Thank you.
Any other business for the commission? Commissioner Wright? No?
Right, really don't have anything. I'll commend the chief today on her job, sitting as chair. Awesome job. And if there's nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. All in favor of the adjournment, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? But we are adjourned. Thank you all.